Today's episode of Derby Profile was suggested by WJQ, who had some very nice compliments to say about my videos. I appreciate them a lot. I will keep them coming. And I will first go with the horse you suggested. Your guy, Slow Down Andy. So, without further ado, another day, another Derby Profile. Today's episode will be on Slow Down Andy. Let's go. First up, as always, we got the stats of Slow Down Andy. He has 5 starts to his name, 3 wins, and 1 second place finish, with total earnings of $544,850, which is overall pretty respectable. For how he got that money, his major races include a victory in the Grade 2 Los Alamitos Futurity, which was against Messier of all horses, a 6th place finish in the Risen Star Stakes, which sticks out like a sore thumb, and his bounce-back victory in the Grade 3 Sunland Park Derby. For how he runs his races, like many other horses in this field, he is a stalker, staying behind the front runners and then swooping on by to win on his best day, like he did in the Los Al Futurity. In the Sunland Park Derby, he was a bit closer to the pace, being head-and-head with straight-up G for the lead, so you could make some argument that he might be a little bit of a front runner, but in general, all of his other races have been run with a stalking style in mind, so we're just going to go with that. And for his highest speed figure, Slow Down Andy doesn't really need to slow down. He kind of needs to speed it up. His highest speed figure was a 95 in the Los Alamitos Futurity, which is currently the lowest highest speed figure that we've seen so far in this series, so not very impressive. He's not exactly a fast horse, but he has done quite a bit, and we'll talk more about that in the strengths and weaknesses of Slow Down Andy. His main strength is the Los Alamitos Futurity, and more specifically, defeating Messier, the same way that Teba did. And people give Teba a lot of hype, despite the fact that he only raced twice. Meanwhile, Slow Down Andy did what he did quite a few months earlier, being the only other horse ever to defeat Messier. So, if you're going to give Teba a lot of credit for defeating Messier, you gotta give the same to Slow Down Andy. And Slow Down Andy has proven himself a bit more than Teba thanks to racing 3 more times, although that has also revealed a few other things both good and bad about him. But if we're going to stick to the positives, his other big thing is his ability to fight. In the Sunland Park Derby, he fought down to the bitter end and still won by a good half a length, so he certainly knows how to fight on the lead if he needs to, a resilient horse on his best day. But if we gotta go over weaknesses, Slow Down Andy has a few of them. For one, as we mentioned with his speed figures, he's actually pretty slow if you look at it, which calls some of his races into question. As well as that, despite the Sunland Park Derby being a very game effort, his changing of leads in the stretch might be an indicator either of greenness or exhaustion in the stretch, which might make it questionable whether he can handle a 1.25 miles, even though his sire is Nyquist, the 2016 Kentucky Derby winner, which may or may not put that to rest. For now, we can at least say that he's a bit green. As well as that, his 6th place finish in the Risen Star Stakes gives a stark contrast to his defeating of Messier. He might have defeated Messier, but he also finished 6th behind multiple Kentucky Derby contenders. 5 of the horses that ran in that Risen Star Stakes are in the top 20 positions for the Kentucky Derby. Even lesser horses like Tawnyport finished ahead of him. And then, further up the list, you have Zandon, Smile Happy, and Epicenter, all very legitimate Kentucky Derby contenders that Slow Down Andy was very well beaten by. And for that, I would have to give Slow Down Andy a B- grade. The only thing saving him from a C grade is his defeating of Messier. Besides that, a lot of other signs point to him being a significantly inferior horse that got lucky in the Sunland Derby thanks to a weak field. But there is potential to be had here. And some people seem to like him, such as the guy who suggested this episode, so we'll have to see on Derby Day if he gives us a surprise and gives Doug O'Neill his 3rd Kentucky Derby. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Derby Profile. Comment on other horses I should cover, and see you guys next time.